it's a Friday night sound. Let me tell you about a crew, we run this town. We roll in the sun, boots and flannels tight. Kicking up dust, everything feels right. We're the Beer Garden Mafia.
Welcome to the Beer Garden Mafia podcast. I'm your host, Keith, and this is Jen.
Hey, y'all.
Together, Jen and I, we're the owners of the Beer Garden Bar and Grill in Draffenville, Kentucky. Jen, why don't you tell the folks a little bit about Beer Garden and how it all came about? How did we get started in this project?
Well, when I was a little girl, my grandpa sold land to the state of Kentucky to build the Kentucky Dam golf course. I would take my little red wagon and go collect golf balls and put them in egg cartons and go sell them back to the golfers because they were too afraid to cross the fence where the cattle were. But then I noticed that they were all drinking beer. So I told my grandpa I needed a pole barn in the front field so that I could sell them beer. Mind you, my grandfather never told me I couldn't do something. Or he told me I can't do that.
Why did he tell you that, Jen?
Well, because it was illegal.
Yes, folks. Marshall County, where we're located, was a dry county up until about 9, maybe 10 years ago. The Beer Garden's been here for a little over 8 years now. So go ahead and tell them, how did the Beer Garden, how did this all happen?
Well, Keith allowed me to follow my dream and turned his garage into my dream. So I'm still selling beer to golfers, just on a different level.
Yes, you are.
There's several of them here tonight even.
So let me give them a little backstory. See, this was my garage. I used to build custom motorcycles and trikes in this garage. And then when Marshall County went wet, in fact, Jen and I was a big part of it going wet. We fought real hard to get that on the ballot.
Yeah, your garage was actually a voting booth.
Yeah, my garage was a voting booth.
You came here and signed the petitions.
And so anyway, we fought real hard for Marshall County to go wet. And once it did go wet, then we decided, okay, we can now have a bar in Marshall County, so let's get busy. And we turned my garage into Jen's dream little bar. So
it's beautiful, by the way.
Since then, in fact, you can see the bar behind us there. It's kind of a just little country bar. We're not in a big town. We're in Draffenville, Kentucky, like I said. We have a Benton mailing address because Draffenville doesn't really, it's not a real town. Everybody calls it Draffenville. There's signs that say Draffenville, but it's never been incorporated, so it's not recognized by the government. We're just a little old country town.
We're Redneck Fabulous.
Yes, we are. We're Redneck Fabulous.
And we're going to do some redneck shit.
So anyway, we opened this bar, like I say, 8 years ago. And at the time when we opened up, we sold beer. That's all we sold was beer. And I guess we did sell wine too, didn't we?
Nope.
No?
It had to be malt-based because Marshall County didn't allow a bar.
Right.
We could have the games. We could have pool tables. We could have dartboards. Just no hard alcohol until we built the kitchen.
Right. We found out that in Marshall County, if you owned a restaurant bar, you could serve alcohol. So we added the kitchen. And, well, not long after the kitchen, that's when COVID hit us.
Yeah. So that was a dandy.
Yeah, it was.
Thanks, Dandy Andy.
Do you remember how all that happened?
Yeah.
I was actually playing on Facebook in my motorhome. Now, my motorhome's parked here in the parking lot or off the side of the parking lot. And I was sitting in my motorhome, and I was playing on Facebook. And I saw that the governor said we had to be closed by 5 o'clock that day. I didn't know if it was real, so I went inside and I said, Jen, look at this. You think this is real? And what'd you say?
Let me call Scott.
So she called alcohol beverage control. And what
he
did
had
Scott
no
have to
idea.
say?
He thought I was kidding him. They were supposed to have had a Zoom meeting with the Dandy Andy, but they never got that. So Scott was, let me get back to you because I have no clue what you're talking about.
Right. So Alcohol Beverage Control, who is in charge of, regulating all this alcohol in the state of Kentucky, they're the people responsible for enforcing this mandate that Andy Beshear put on us, and they had no clue what was happening. The day of the shutdown, they had no clue at all. In fact, we didn't hear from Scott Brown until later that day, and he come into the bar, and he said, "You've got to be closed." So we asked, obvious questions like, well, how long is this going to last? What happens if we don't close? What did Andy say to us? Or not Andy, I'm sorry, Scott Brown, ABC rep.
That we would be arrested and ripped of our liquor license.
Right. So later on, when we found out it was an illegal closure and unconstitutional, they said it was voluntary. See, folks, that's how the state does things. They force you using the weight of the law and threatening you with arrest and loss of your business license, but then they call it voluntary. But anyway, we got through COVID. What did we do during COVID? You remember?
Well, we did a lot of buffing of the floors and a lot of cleaning, thinking it was only going to be 2 weeks. Scott came and checked us a couple of times because there was too many cars in the parking lot to suit him. But when he walked in, there was people in here. We were buffing floors, making everything extra clean, doing proper setups, and then we put up the cornhole building.
That's right. While everybody else was closed down, we decided this is a great time to expand our little beer garden operation. So that's exactly what we did. We put up another building. It's about 1,400 square feet, and we turned that into a game room. What kind of games? Tell people what we have in that building, Jen.
We have air hockey. We have a poker table that we only use for special occasions. Ping pong, beer pong, pinball, claw machine, big buck safari hunting, Golden Tee golf. Oh, and Fast and Furious.
Yes, we can't forget the race car machine. And we even have a claw machine. If you feel lucky, like you can win a prize, well, you take your luck on that claw machine and see how you do. People do pretty good with it.
Some of them haul out a lot of goods.
Yeah, some of them watch videos on how to do these claw machines. They come in and play it, and, they leave with these little trinkets and whatnot. So,
also in the building, though, we've had a wedding. No, 2. We've had a wedding reception. We had my high school class reunion there. It was the biggest class reunion of 1986. It was grand. We've done so many things. COVID had me really bored. So when Jen gets bored, we have to build something.
And we did.
Boy,
and we did. We added a whole nother building. But then we get done with COVID, and I'd always told Jen, I said, we got this beautiful field out back here, and I've always told her the way it's shaped, it kind of drops down, it's surrounded by trees, it's kind of a natural amphitheater. And so I told her, I said, we ought to build us a stage out there. So, well, Jen got bored again and said, Keith, why don't you get to building? And Keith did.
And the really cool part about that is the Four Rivers Harley-Davidson store in Paducah had notified us and said, we've got this outdoor stage. If y'all want it, you come and get it. You have to take it apart.
So we did. And I brought it back here. We poured a concrete pad, and we erected that stage. Well, we weren't even completely done with it. We quickly realized that it was not going to be near big enough for what we wanted to do. So we had to expand the stage, and today we've got a huge stage out back. It's probably 35 foot wide. It's a pretty nice stage. Full power. I mean, it's great. In fact, we've done some concerts out here. Who's been here, Jen?
Rehab. Hey, bartender.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, Danny with Rehab. He's played here a couple times. We've got to be friends with him. Great people. They put on an awesome show. Every time they come through, we see them, whether they're playing here or not. They love this place.
Yeah, sometimes they just come hang out.
And we love seeing them. Yeah, they just come and hang out sometimes, and that's awesome. We really like that.
Ooh.
But we've also added an event that nobody in Western Kentucky had ever seen before. And I know Jen knows exactly what I'm talking about here. So tell them about that event, Jen.
So I got online and I discovered micro wrestling. I emailed back and forth with them. We text. After about a year, we had all the details worked out. We had porta potties brought in, lighting, and the littles came in and set up their stage. And there was approximately 700 some odd people that showed up. People that lived in the subdivision through the woods were calling to the 911 saying, what is going on at the beer garden? Because they could just hear the echo of drop them, smash them, busted their head, and this and that. Thank goodness there was a deputy that wanted to come watch for free. And he's on his little device, and then he's handing me his phone. He's like, tell him no. It's an event. Because half the county was here. I definitely didn't need the police coming in hot. I mean, that would have added another element.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, though. I mean, people seriously were freaking out, calling 911, saying, there's a riot going on down at the beer garden.
They're having a ruckus.
It was actually little people wrestling, and it was a great event. We had a lot of fun with it. So we've done that. Like I say, yeah, twice we've done that. We've also done concerts. We've had big gatherings out here. We've put on events for motorcycle clubs. In fact, we had a huge party for one of the clubs. And I'm not going to mention their names because we don't put their business out there. But we had hundreds of motorcycles. How many hundreds do you think we had in the parking lot that day?
Minimum 200.
Yeah,
and all the vehicles had to park down in the lower lot.
I think there's more than 200, but there was a ton of motorcycles here, a ton of people here. It was another awesome day at the beer garden.
Oh, and on that day, they even did like a raffle for the toy run.
Right. So, helped out.
They were doing multiple things on that particular event.
Right.
And it was great.
They raised a lot of money for needy families, children. And what people don't realize about these bike clubs is that a lot of these bike clubs, I know they get a bad rap. And people hear about some of the negative stuff that one or two members are doing. You know, it's not the whole club. It's one or two members. But they also do a lot of great work. They help the community. They do a lot of benefits to help children, help families in need. And we're all just too happy to help them help other people. So we do a lot of that, too.
One of the biggest ones we did was for what they call the Chester Run. That's where anybody that's got a motorcycle or anybody that's got a heart showed up. What the Chester Run was, it's to raise money for kids that have been molested that need legal supervision or legal counsel or a way out of it.
Right.
We raised so much money that day.
Well,
stupid money.
People love, especially people in this area, and I know in a lot of other areas, people love to come together to help children. And we try to do as much of that as we possibly can. And whenever we are invited to help, we jump at the opportunity because we like to help out the community. We like to help children, families. So the beer garden, we like to say we are a family. That's why we call ourselves the Beer Garden Mafia, because we are like a giant family here. All right, folks, you've all heard me and Jen's story, and you now know that we are the owners of the beer garden. But what you don't know yet is the man that is making all this podcast and our YouTube channel work. So, Eric, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell folks a little bit about what you do and how this all came about?
Well, my name's Eric, and I actually moved here about a year ago from Arizona, and didn't really meet a lot of people, didn't go out of the house, was working on the house trying to get things going, and my brothers came to town, and they're like, hey, let's go have a beer. I said, all right, cool, let's go. So we took off, and I'm like, oh, there's a bar right there. Let's go in there. So we came in the Beer Garden and sat down, had a few beers, and had a little bit to eat. Good food, by the way, real good food. But had a little bit to eat, and this little lady comes walking over to me and my brothers. You want to play bingo? We're like, nah, we're fine. We're going to drink our beer and head out, and we're not in a bingo. And then what'd you do, Jen?
They just didn't know.
What'd you
I said,
do?
this is not your grandma's bingo. If you mind cussing, people booing each other, and random other things like that, then you have this in your bingo. And they're like, give me a card.
Yep. My brother's like, all right, you twisted my arm, we're in. And that started this whole ball rolling. And next thing you know, me and my wife and my brother and his wife come here every Tuesday for bingo. We started talking to Jen, and she said she wanted to do a podcast. Well, my background, I'm actually Destroyer 1320 on YouTube. I have my own company called Destroyer1320.com. I stop people from stealing cars. And I've been doing podcasting and YouTube since 2020, so very well versed in it. And so I go, yeah, I'll help you out, Jen. I said, I know how to do that stuff.
He doesn't know what helping me out means. It means you're with me for life.
Yeah, I learned real quick because she soon after sends me a picture of concrete. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm building a podcast studio. I'm like, oh my God, I guess I'm helping you now.
You were committed even if you didn't know you were committed.
Oh, I was either way. It's
kinda
such
like when
a
we
great
put up
place.
The building that we're using for cornhole. Cat Spears, the inspector, he's like, what are you doing, Jenny? Only person in the world that can call me Jenny.
Yeah.
I said, well, we're putting up a pavilion. And then when the walls went in, he's like, do you know the difference between a pavilion and a building? I was like, okay, it'll be fine. He's like, Jenny, signs off. So, yeah, he didn't even know going into it just exactly how deep I was going to get him in.
Yeah.
I see a trend here.
Yeah.
Well, in Marshall County, you can put up a pavilion without a permit, but you can't put up a building without a permit.
Right.
But you can convert a pavilion to a building without a permit. So we put up a pavilion, and we converted it to a building.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's some free advice from these folks right
So
here.
a lot of times it's just in the wording and how you do things. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
government gets in the way if you let them. We don't let them. Yeah, fuck that government.
They just want money for the permit anyway.
That's right. That's all they're
so
after.
Once I get you in, once you're a part of the Garden Mafia, you're in for life.
Yes. And then, yeah, we started talking, and Beer Garden Mafia was born, and here we are today. We're going to have some great guests coming in. I will be the co-host here, and yeah, I'm the guy who does all the little gadgets and stuff, make the technology side of it work.
Right.
Then I also will be doing some of the editing and that type of thing, and
All of the editing.
all of the editing.
And now it's Keith's turn to take Eric over.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
He had no idea what he was getting into.
I'm totally good with that. As you guys know, Keith was an entrepreneur himself, and we got to talk, and next thing you know, I'm like, wait, your birthday's in April too? Oh, that makes sense. So we're both
Yeah.
Aries, and
Both
We just-
stubborn.
we both have a very similar demeanor. It's interesting. He started making money out of his garage. I started making money out of my garage. I was in the corporate world at one point. Actually worked for Microsoft, if you believe it or not. But I don't know why they hired me. Wasn't a fan of that company and was kind of glad to get out of there. But I actually had a brain, years ago. I just don't like to let anybody know that I have one. So,
Well, we're going to put it to good use. So, all right, folks, that's Eric. And, come on back and see what we got for you in the future. We're going to do a lot of fun things. We got some redneck golf coming up.
oh yeah,
You're not going to believe that. Not your normal golf. A lot like the bingo around here. It's not normal bingo. So stop back in and see us. And if you ever get to Draftonville or Western Kentucky, swing on into the Beer Garden and say hello. We'd love to see y'all. So until then, y'all have a great
This
day.
wave of laughter and cheer. Beer Garden Mafia, we're all friends here. So come on down, raise your voice with me. Whether you're from the city or the fields of green, we're just a bunch of rednecks doing our thing in this beer garden life that makes our hearts sing.